Good morning. Thank you for coming to the Denver Older Adult Helpers channel. I am Desiree, Transitional Coordinator with Maintain Me Senior Services.
And I am Morgan Jenkins. I'm the director at Maintain Me.
So today we want to talk to you about 5 things to look for in a rehab. And number 1 is, do they accept your insurance? This is the number 1 question you have to ask before you even tour, before you go into anything further. We need to make sure that they actually take your healthcare insurance. Number 1, not every rehab facility is going to be contracted with other healthcare insurances, and that can be Innovage, that can be Medicaid, that can be straight Medicare, which more than likely all of them are, or that can be Blue Cross Blue Shield, United, Aetna. So make sure that they are actually contracted with your insurance. Make sure they get prior authorization before you're actually even admitted into the facility for that rehab stay. Very, very important. And also make sure it's 100% covered, 80% covered. What exactly are you going to be, responsible for when it comes to copays? Very big question to ask.
Yeah. And one thing, maybe we'll back up just a tiny bit. When you go into a rehab, it's typically because you need to recover from an injury or an illness. So it's not all older people. Sometimes younger people have a really bad accident and need to go to rehab before they can get stronger to go home. Or you've had a hip or knee replacement, or it can look like very many different things, but usually you go from a hospital situation where they put you back together and then you aren't quite ready to go home, so you go to rehab. So just a little sorry to jump all over the place. Yeah, no thanks. So that great points though, and you inspired me to comment on that because you talked about Blue Cross Blue Shield or other insurances that younger people may have that isn't always Medicare. So great, thanks. And then the number 2. So we're on number 2. Again, subscribe if you don't already subscribe to our channel. Make sure you leave comments, questions, concerns, something you want us to cover in our next video. We literally do these for education for you that is watching. So thanks for watching. The number 2 thing is survey results. So you can go on for Colorado Department of Health and Environmental Services, otherwise known as CDPHE. They have what's called Nursing Home Compare. Now, Nursing Home Compare is a broad overview for, it's just where the site is. We'll put the link in the chat so you can go and look up survey results. It is a matter of people come in and show up on surprise, a survey, and people who are the regulating body and look at what's going on. They look at charts, they talk to people, they test the temperature of the food, they watch people to make sure they're washing their hands before they touch the medicines. They're watching everything to make sure this place is doing it right. So the survey results are a public database and they're available online.
Number 3, location. Location is going to be very important for your rehab stay because you're recovering from something major. Why you need additional help within rehab. Location is key. Make sure you're not going too far out of your way from where your loved ones are, where your support system is. Not everybody has a family in town, but we do have a support system, whether it's friends or neighbors, co-workers, things of that nature. So make sure when you're looking for the facility, you're looking within a certain mile radius of your home, of your loved ones, of your support system, because that's important. What if there's a snowstorm and they need to get to you? All these things come into play. So location is key. And if they just want to come and visit you, bring you some love, bring you some flowers, and balloons. They don't want to, you don't want to have them driving across town through traffic. The closer, the better. It's always key. And you'll have more visitors that way, which is always a good positive thing. So location is key for sure. But that's not to say because they're the closest, but their survey isn't that great. That's who you go with. You got to keep all these factors into place. Number 1, do they take your insurance? Number 2, what does their survey look like when you're considering the location?
Excellent. I like how you reviewed that. So number 4, the number 4 important thing to consider when looking for a rehab, and this is not necessarily what you consider, but what you do when choosing one, is tour. you need to go see it. If you can't go see it because you're in the hospital, you ask a friend, neighbor, or loved one, somebody who you trust, to go in there and say, okay, what's it look like? How does it smell? Are there call lights going off and they're not being answered, and you see staff standing around on their phone? You can learn a lot from going and seeing a place. And this may affect what you want to do. Maybe this one is the one right around the corner from your house, but then somebody who you trust goes and tours and says, ooh, I don't think so. And now another thing to think about is nothing's going to be perfect. So don't look for perfection. You will always be disappointed. Set your expectations very low. These places are busy. People have a lot of needs. If you don't have a lot of needs, you may feel like you don't get a lot of attention. You're there for rehab. Work hard in your rehab, and no, it's temporary. You're not going to live there.
Right.
So even if it's a really long stay, it's still temporary. So keep your eyes on the prize.
Perfect. And number 5, friends and family. Always let them know what's going on. Hey, this is what's happening. I need additional help. They're going to send me to rehab. Do you know of anybody who's been to rehabs before? If so, where do they go? How was their experience? Word of mouth travels faster than a Google review. You can always check your Google reviews. There's nothing wrong with that, but word of mouth travels faster. And you're always going to know somebody who needed rehab at some point in their life, regardless of their age, whether they're 65 or 32. Yep. We all need it at some point, especially if you're in Colorado and you're skiing. You're going to need it. So, ask around, and don't be shy. Even at the hospital, ask them, well, who do you recommend? Yeah. Where have you sent your patients before? What was their experience like? So always ask.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Yeah. And good point on the Google reviews. Take them with a grain of salt. They're not always going to be the most accurate, and should not be your determinant. It should be in accordance with all these other things we've listed here. So that's my closing comment. I don't have anything else to add. Do you have anything else to add?
Please be sure to subscribe. Add comments at the bottom. You have any questions, we're going to be on this. We'll answer anything you have, and please be sure to follow us for more educational videos, because this is why we do this. Awesome. To educate our community.
Exactly right.
Have a great day.
Thank you.